Hi, everybody. It is Thursday night, and here is your update. Rain coming in overnight tonight, a lot of it Friday. Snow levels plummet Friday night behind an evening front. And one of the changes in the forecast, to my analysis anyway, is that boy, the snow levels drop like an absolute rock Friday overnight. And I have them down Saturday morning all the way to 500 feet. More on all that coming up. So, Portland update for rain and snow. Yes, snow levels lower Friday night. Quickly, Metro Valley Hills, 200 and 300 feet to see weekend snow. Absolutely. The question is, are you going to see a little bit? Or are you going to see more like that? There's a big question mark on overall moisture, not only this weekend, but into the first part of next week. This is a graphic from the American GFS model that I had on this homepage the other day, and I just left it. This is Monday, I believe. But you see how the flow pattern again, follow the contours of my cursor. Swing out around the low and swing in. So right here is on a moisture block for the most part from the Pacific. Okay. Um, and this low, the fact that it's almost cut off, just means there's not a lot of moisture feeding into it. So, with all the talk of snow levels, all the tracking of temperatures, on the one hand, if I look at the model data, I'm like, well, that could be some measurable snow for a number of days. But if you look at the model output, which may or may not be right, boy, you just don't see big numbers. Anyway, more on all of that coming up. Okay, let's jump right to snow levels, shall we? So that's what I'm talking about. We've got Friday's really a wet day. Again, we're going to show you rain totals, but it's definitely rain at Government Camp a good chunk of Friday with the snow level at about 4,500 feet. I was saying 5,000 feet, now about 400 feet. Government Camp's 4,000 feet. So all rain in the valley, all the rain over the coast range. Just kind of a typical day on Friday with the rain. By Saturday, though, down to 500 feet. That impacts coast range travel, obviously. Now we're getting into some of the metro hills around town. The Oregon Zoo, by the way, in the West Hills sits at about 600 feet, for example. And then you go to Sunday. Now you've got snow levels even lower. That's impacting more of you that live up in elevation. And then by Sunday, 200 feet and even lower as morning temperatures get closer to freezing. And then, really, by Tuesday and Wednesday, whatever moisture is out there, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I will add Thursday to it, will just be snow. That doesn't mean there's going to be anything. And maybe it's just some simple flurries, but that's the snow level picture that I am looking at. Okay. Momentous Wealth Podcast. Thank you very much. They sponsor my forecast work here on YouTube. Listen on Apple Podcasts, listen on Spotify. Again, they provide a variety of different investment topics to listen to. Brought to you by Momentous Wealth Management. Let me say it correctly. Licensed in both Oregon and in Washington. Okay, this is the watch warning map from our friends here in Portland at the National Weather Service. As expected, right here up and down the Cascades, that is now a winter storm warning. Their timing has been delayed. I mean, it makes sense. There was never going to be any moisture in the Cascades until after midnight tonight, and that's still the case. So we've got a winter storm warning. Their timing is now 4 a.m. Friday through Saturday at 4 o'clock. They're saying 6 to 12 inches above 3,000 feet. And then when you get up to 5,000 feet and higher, you could be looking at 15 inches and eventually even maybe 20 inches of snow. That's the Weather Service's verbiage. Now, over here, this is the coast range. This is, I remember we've been talking about this. This is Friday overnight through the day Saturday. So basically Saturday. And this is for their numbers are 2 to 4 inches of snow. This very much impacts Highway 6 and Highway 26, but there are a number of the passes that go back and forth between the coast and the I-5 corridor that at some point dip down to 500 feet or even 400 or 300 feet. So, big caution if you're going to the coast range over this upcoming weekend. Here's where we are right now. Radar right now, this is what, 5:30 in the afternoon. This color right here, not really anything reaching ground, but it does show you the cloud depth is lowering, and the radar is definitely hitting water vapor in the cloud layer, if you will. But we're still dry right now as we really expected to be. Here offshore on the left, here's Portland. Watch my cursor. There's the elongated cloud band that you see. There's some more moisture back here trying to feed in. Here's a visible satellite picture. It's a great. Here's Portland. Let me put my mouse right there and leave it. So look at the cloudiness just spreading in. It has been a partly cloudy day up over the Cascades. Here's Mount Hood right here and out into the gorge. But certainly the low clouds did come in this morning as expected, and they stayed thick throughout the day. Again, more of the water vapor. There's the front offshore. Again, the front doesn't come in till Friday evening. I have the front coming in Friday evening around 7 p.m. So we get moisture overnight tonight. Moisture continues to come in all day tomorrow. It's a really wet day. And then behind that front, Friday overnight is when everything breaks in to scattered showers. Here's the future radar product on the National Blended Model from the National Weather Service. 10 p.m. tonight, all the models have been showing similar timing. You've got rain up and down the coast, and then after 10, increasing threat that the rain eventually moves into the Willamette Valley. Here we are at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Nothing scattered about this. This is widespread rain from the Canadian border across all of Western Washington, all of Western Oregon. Moisture by 4 a.m. Friday morning pushing out into the blues. Again, this is rain over the Cascades at 4,000 feet at this point. And then here's during the day Friday. Notice, let me back up. That second surge of moisture. Remember, we saw this on the imagery loops. Second surge of moisture right here coming in. So this is Friday afternoon, very wet. This is later in the afternoon, very wet. Here we are at 4 p.m. Now this starts to break the moisture up somewhat, but this could still be mainly steady rain well into the evening. This is Friday at 7 p.m. There are breaks, but overall, this is pretty steady moisture showing up. Again, the front comes in around 7, but it looks like there is some moisture behind it. As we go into Saturday morning, this is not going to play you that far. This is Saturday evening. These are scattered showers back here. They're going to continue to come in Saturday. When I show you the 7 day, you're going to see a lot of scattered showers on it. The only day to me that looks like absolutely it's a pretty numerous shower day is Saturday. So if there's a day that you live at 500 feet or up in the hills and you're going to see enough constant precip to accumulate some snow, Saturday is probably the best chance to do so. All right, how much we talking? So how much falls overnight tonight through the day Friday? Again, models have been pretty consistent from one to the other. If you look at the numbers, I'm going up and down the I-5 corridor, start down south, there's 6/10. There's about 6/10. There's a half of an inch around Salem. There's 4/10 of 6/10 in the Portland Metro, half of an inch in Kelso Longview, half of an inch, about 64 100s up around Seattle. Basically, not everybody gets an inch of rain, but it's close to an inch of rain up and down the coast. You've got a little wet bullseye of 1.66 down in southwestern Oregon in the Coos Bay, North Bend area. And then you've got some decent moisture going across the east. So that's what falls Saturday. After this, it's all scattered precip numbers. And for example, so the models love a half of an inch or more in Portland, Salem, and Vancouver on Friday into Friday evening. Saturday, they love no more than a quarter of an inch, but pretty active scattered showers. Sunday, they love 15/100ths of an inch or less. Monday, a tenth of an inch of total liquid moisture or less. Any snow we get if you melted it, tenth of an inch. And then Tuesday, it's less than 5/100ths of an inch and maybe nothing measurable Wednesday, Thursday. So you get the idea. The model output is just not very big. It doesn't mean it's right. I can look at the raw data that I look at and make a case that we're going to get more total shower activity than what the numbers would indicate I just read to you. So we'll see. Here's the American GFS model. This has been the coldest one. It's the one that's sticking to its guns, and it's the one that I think a lot of forecasters are now believing is probably true. So this is Friday through Friday. This is tomorrow. So these bright areas right in here, the brighter tones, kind of pink, magenta, purple colors, that's all 8 to 12 inches of snow up in elevation. This shows only around 4 inches at government camp. That would be at 4,000 feet. That would be late day into the evening, and then heavier snow amounts up into the Cascades. So let's go ahead and just keep this playing. Remember, Saturday's a pretty active day. This is going to show you cumulative totals. So now we got a foot of snow up on Mount Hood. We've got 16-22 inches in the Cascades up in Washington. You've got a foot to 18 inches, maybe 20 inches here around Mount Jefferson. So that's really heavy Cascade snow, absolutely winter storm type conditions. You've got some 8-inch amounts out in the Blue Mountains, and you're starting to pick up. Just remember the Weather Service right here had that 2 to 4 inch amount in their forecast for the winter storm snow advisory for the Coast Range. Remember that? There it is, 2 to 4. That's what they're looking at. Okay. Now let's go ahead and play this into Sunday. So Sunday we don't add many. We add a little bit to the Coast Range. Now that's a 6, 7, 8-inch bullseye up in elevation, but snow over the highway is absolutely possible. Notice still mainly nothing on the ground here in the Willamette Valley, but starting to see some snow up in Kelso Longview and up to the north. if this is correct. This is Sunday. Let's play it one more day. Let's see what we got. Here's Monday. Still, the Willamette Valley for the most part, nothing. Okay, but Coast Range, yeah, Cascades, yeah. And then, so that was the American GFS. Here's the warmer European model. Now, all the models love snow in the Cascades. This shows 9, 10, 12 inches up and down the Cascades by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Heavier amounts up in Washington. Nothing Friday in the Coast Range. Again, the snow levels don't really fall until Friday overnight, going into Saturday. So let me just play this into through Sunday. This is through the weekend. There's that Coast Range bullseye, 4 inches, 8 inches. Resolution's not good enough to realize that this is bleeding onto the coast. This is just up in elevation of the Coast Range. Cascades, 2 feet of snow. That's believable. Certainly at 5,000 feet and higher. Good amounts out over the Blue Mountains, and just disregard the gray stuff. I just don't think that's anything in the valley through Sunday. It's a westerly flow. Most of us will stay above freezing through the day Sunday. But then going into Monday, now all bets are off. Now, Monday, we could start getting freezing temperatures, and the European likes some snow on the ground. There you go, 3, 4 inches. It's a 50-50 chance that that could come true. I keep saying that on the one hand, the model output doesn't show much, but if you look at the raw data, you get the idea that every day next week through at least Wednesday is going to have some measurable precipitation. Here's that upper flow pattern. Here's the polar jet. This is tomorrow morning, Friday at 4 a.m. Cold air well to our north. Here's the trough. Again, the front doesn't come in until Friday evening. Here we are, Friday evening. Now the front's starting to work in. The cold upper level low still to our north. And then, bam, going into Saturday morning, snow levels rapidly fall. I've got us at a 500-foot snow level. Remember, Saturday morning. Here's the polar jet down into our area. Colder air starting to feed in. And, again, this is kind of a cutoff flow, but there's enough of a west fetch coming in off the Pacific that should be a pretty active scattered shower day and fairly unstable because of the coldness of the air. That's going to be convection, right? Polar jet right down into us. And then this low just kind of hangs out. The flow pattern doesn't do much. We stay cold. That was Monday. Here's Tuesday. It actually expands polar jet all the way down toward Northern California. That's cold air. Here's Wednesday. Just doesn't do much in the midweek, does it? No, absolutely doesn't. Okay. All right. What we got going here? Here's Mount Hood. I mean, 34 now, 40 in Meadows, 36 in Ski Bowl. It's been nice up there today. Again, snow hits the mountain after midnight tonight, and it'll be heavy snow at Timberline and Meadows into tomorrow morning, but it's rain tomorrow morning at Government Camp. So again, here are the snow levels I shared earlier, basically. 4,500 to 4,000 feet Friday, 500 feet Saturday, 300 feet Sunday, 200 feet Monday, basically sea level after that. Um, and 3 to 12 inches. 3 would be at Government Camp with rain turning to snow later in the day. Otherwise, a foot coming at 5,000 feet and higher Friday. Everybody gets snow, all the elevations, 5 to 8 Saturday, 2 to 4 Sunday. But then after that, it looks like some, but not really a ton. Okay. Let's go around the horn real quick. Here's Medford. Rainy day, 48. Rainy Saturday, 43. And then and then look at the low temperature, Thursday, 30s. I don't know about that. But absolutely freezing temperature starting Sunday morning. And then daytime highs around 40, and every day has a chance of kind of a mixed bag of precip. That's actually pretty similar to what I'm going to show you for Portland's forecast. Rain in Central Oregon Friday. You've got, after that, it's pretty much all snow. 22 to 39 on Saturday. Look at these lows. Really cold air. Teens and only getting up to around freezing with some flurries, mainly is what we're talking about going into the first of next week. But I don't know. Maybe I get fooled. Maybe the output is more, as I keep mentioning, than what the output is showing. That was Bend. Here's Pendleton. Yeah, lows in the teens next Tuesday, Wednesday. You've got 50 tomorrow, but then 40s this weekend. And then look at the stretch of colder weather, 32, 32, 32. Yeah. All right. Seattle, what do you got? Let's see here. It's not going to be free. Well, I don't know. The air comes down from the north. So Seattle, absolute rain, snow chance on Saturday. And then it's like that the rest of the time. This shows all snow starting Monday, which makes sense, meaning no rain threat. Just look at the lows in the 20s. Again, Seattle's going to be colder than Portland. This is, as you go north, lower snow levels. As you travel south, higher snow levels. So that all makes sense, right? Here's North Bend, really wet. Remember, well over an inch of rain on Friday. Saturday's rainy, Sunday's rainy. And then even along the coast, some temperatures that could flirt with freezing, which means you could flirt with overnight morning snow showers changing to rain. That would be interesting. Here's Salem. 54. Boy, model's really good. There's a pretty good south breeze tomorrow, 10 to 25 miles per hour, even with the rain. So models really want to warm up ahead of that front, which you sometimes get. But I personally think it makes more sense that there's enough rain on Friday that temperatures get held down somewhat. But we'll see how warm we get Friday or not. The colder weather Saturday, and then it just gets colder and colder, lows in the 20s and daytime highs around 40 eventually into next week. Here's my 7 day. 42 tonight. Boy, that's going to be a change of pace. Rainy when you get up in the morning, a rainy Friday, 49. Breezy winds. Southwest 10 to 25. Could be some gusts to 40 tomorrow, especially in the afternoon and evening hours along the coast. Tomorrow's the only day that really has that noticeable of wind. Saturday's kind of breezy, but 10 to 20 miles per hour. And then after that, it's calmer winds. And just look at the temperatures. I keep Portland above freezing at night at lowest elevations through Sunday. Then Monday morning freezing. So Monday morning we could wake up to some snow on the ground. And then anything that falls Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is no longer any rain. It's just the air's cold enough, but whatever moisture is out there is snow. Okay. So again, just keep updated. There's not a nothing just screams snowstorm, but sometimes these shower days that don't look like much, look like flurries this far out. All of a sudden, you get a little 4 hour window where you get a clump of shower activity that comes together, and boom, you get a little snow blitz of several inches. That could happen. All right. Thanks for subscribing. I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. I'll talk to you soon.